Dozen representatives from Boone, Carroll, Joe Davis, Stevenson, and Winnebago counties gathered Thursday for the Human Services Transportation Plan Committee meeting. Topics covered there were accessibility to rural areas and expansion for public transportation. Those in attendance shared what they are doing to better transportation in their communities and how the work improves people's quality of life. A Winnebago County organization is working hard for that accessibility. Reagan Mass Transit District has introduced a new bus program that serves the rural parts of Winnebago County.
Is it vitally important to get that service to that neck of rural Winnebago, merely because we know that there's individuals who are in a lot of ways stranded and not able to get to different community resources.